Welcome students, welcome to our channel Helm of Science. Hope you are all doing well in this pandemic. So let's start our topic. Today's topic is motion in a plane. So previously you have read chapter motion in a straight line, that is particles motion is traveling in a straight line through this. So here if you use the graphical concept, here we use one single coordinate along the x-axis. Suppose this is x-axis. There is no another axis to describe the point of the particle of a particular position. So if we now try to describe a point of particle on a plane, then we need two axes. Suppose this is the plane of my board and this is a little coordinate according to the size of my board. Okay, suppose this is y and this is x. So if I try to point a particle at this point, then I have to describe its coordinate along x and along y axis. So if it's P, its coordinate is x1, y1. So when we are considering a plane, a motion of a particle in a plane, we have to consider two axes, x and y, and thus we describe our particles in the plane. So this is the position of our particle, and if I want to describe the distance of the position from here to here, OP denotes the distance from the center origin O to P. Now in this case, first we have to have a basic concept about the scalar and vector. What is scalar and what is vector? Suppose you ask a man to travel a distance from here. Okay. He can travel at any direction, like this direction, and this direction, and this direction, even this direction too, and also this direction. So you have not specified his direction of motion. He can travel at any direction. But if you ask him to travel 5 km towards north, then he must go 5 km toward north. If you ask him to travel 10 km towards east, he will travel 10 km towards east. So here comes the magnitude, that is a 10 km or 5 km, and direction, that is north or east or south or northeast, whatever. So this is a scalar quantity. This is a vector quantity. When you are specifying the magnitude of traveling or displacement and the direction of displacement. So here comes in another concept. Suppose one is here, you ask him to travel 10 kilometer towards negative north direction. So 10 kilometer, and this is our general north, west, east, south. So you ask him to travel 10 kilometers towards negative north direction. So this is south or negative north, as this is our north, this is 10 kilometers. And after that, you ask him to move another 5 kilometers towards west. So he had to move another 5 kilometers towards west. So now ask him what is his final position and coordinate. So he have to say his final coordinate this, and this is root over m square plus 5 square, that is 100 plus 25, 125. So this is root under 125 kilometer, and this is towards southwest direction. So here comes the magnitude and direction. So vector quantity must have a magnitude A and a direction this. And vector is written as this with a direction sign above. And as it is a magnitude, so it will be under mod sign. That could not be negative a magnitude. It could be negative, but the magnitude, the numerical value would not be negative. Its position and coordinate would be negative. So this is how a vector is denoted. In your book, you will observe some letters are written in bold, other than giving arrow mark overhead. That bold and italic bold letter are denoted as vectors, but you cannot write bold in pen and paper, so you have to denote it like this. And in case of scalar, it's only the magnitude. Okay. Let us describe the position coordinate and some direction or displacement vector of a particle in two-dimensional. Suppose this is the frame of the coordinate system, x, y, and a particle is moving like this. So at this position vector is denoted by r from O, and at this position it's traveling in this way. At this position, its position vector is written as r prime, and this point is P, and this is P prime. So the displacement is this. So position r, this is initial, and r prime, this is final. And the displacement vector what would be the displacement vector? P to P prime. This is the displacement vector. That is, its displacement is from P to P, and its distance covered is in this way. Okay. So this concept should be clear before going deep in this chapter. Now we will discuss some properties of a vector. Let's see. Suppose there is a vector A. If you try to multiply A with a constant value or a scalar quantity, suppose lambda, then this multiplication will be like this: lambda into A will be written as lambda A. Simple rule. Just multiply with the vector. Now addition. Suppose this is a vector A and this is a vector B, and suppose this is another vector opposite direction of B, that is written as minus B. So if we add A to B, this is vector C and written as A plus B. This is R, the resultant vector. And if we consider this is R prime and this is A plus minus B. So there is only addition in the vector, that is R is equal to A plus B. And if we consider the subtraction, it is a form of addition, that is A minus B could be written as A plus negative B vector. Okay. Now we will discuss about unit vectors. What is that? Previous example I have shown that you are asking a man to travel 10 km towards north or towards south, whatever. So what is the unit of that movement? That is the kilometer, 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer, and in smaller scale it will be like meter, 1 meter, 2 meter. If there is 1 kilometer, there is 1000 meters, and if there is 1 meter, there is several millimeter or centimeter or nanometer. So the smallest possible scale would be the unit vector. So if this is the coordinate and this is the position, and it is written as R, displacement vector. So R vector is R, a magnitude value, and a unit vector, R cap. Unit vector is defined as, suppose this is a line and this is divided in several smallest division. One smallest division is the unit vector A. There is another A. So in total, this is A vector, which denotes a number of A, suppose there is A times A and a vector and a unit vector A cap. So this is the funda. Now, if there is some coordinate like this is x, this is y, and this is T or this is R. So, when this particle is moving from initial, it is at rest at the origin. When it start moving, at some point it moves toward x and towards y. Another point, it's moved towards another little x and another little y. So at this position, it has already moved towards x and as well as towards y. So on the direction of x, it has a value, and the value could be determined by taking a projection. This is a projection, and this is written as, suppose this is r, rx is equal to r, and the angle between these is suppose theta. So rx written as r cos theta, and here is also a projection on the y direction, and this is written as ry. This is r sin theta. So these are the x component and y component of the vector r. These components plays an important role in problem solving and also in some conceptual physics also. So what if I ask the coordinate of the position of this point? This point, suppose this is, as we denoted it r, so r could be written as some part of rx and y. Rx, it is the value towards x direction, and its unit vector will be written as I cap, plus along y direction of r is ry, and unit vector is j. And suppose there is a z direction like this. So the z direction, in z direction it could be written as rj ij k. So along x direction the unit vector is I, along y direction unit vector j, and along z direction unit vector is k. So it is r is written as rxy rxi cap plus ryj cap plus rz cap. This is in 3 dimension, and this is in 2 dimension. That is a plane. 2 dimension means x and y, there are 2 directions only. So in 3 direction, I will show how this happens. In 3D. And this is x, y, this is J. Suppose this is our position, this is vector A. So it has a projection over X, it has a projection over Y, sorry, not this is in two-dimensional case. In 3D case, the projection would be like little different. How? Because this is A. So consider here is a plane, XZ plane, here is a plane that is YZ plane, and here is a plane that is, and I am writing this XY plane. This is ZX plane, and this is YZ plane. Suppose this is the corner of your room and you are holding a stick A from the corner of your room, and there is a light illuminating in the ceiling. So it will have a shadow or projection over XZ plane, and this projection must have a coordinate value at this and this. So this will be the value of, this is AZ, this is AX, and this must have a value position at here. So here also be a plane, this is a Y. So A is written as AXI, AYJ plus AZK. This is in 3 dimension. Now I will go through some conceptual problem along this chapter. So first write the problem. So this is our problem. Find the magnitude and direction of the resultant of two vectors A and B in terms of the magnitude and angle theta between them. Let's start answering. First you copy the question and I will remove, as my size of the board is a little short. Hope you have the question. So here the question was to determine the magnitude and direction of resultant of two vectors A and B at angle theta. So let's first draw this is A and this is B. And this angle is theta. So according to the parallelogram theorem, we will connect this like I will draw a resultant vector R over here and let this angle is alpha. We extend this line to this and join this. This is a 90-degree angle and we draw a perpendicular over here. It is also perpendicular. After naming, we will get this is S, this is N, this is P, this is M, this is Q, this is O, and this is our A vector, this is B vector, and this is R vector. Okay, let's start. So at first, R is equal to A plus B. And students, thanks for stay tuned with us and ignoring some background noise. So here OS square is equal to ON square plus NS square. OS square is NS square plus N square in triangle OSN. And here ON is equal to OP plus PN. And OP is A vector plus PN. What is this? This is our B. This is our B. And according to the trigonometric calculation, this P is cos theta. B cos theta. Right. So putting it in OS square is equal to A plus B cos theta whole square plus NS square. What is NS? Here is N is equal to, it is B sin theta, that is height case. This calculation comes from trigonometric knowledge. Sin theta whole square. If you simplify this will be a term b square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. This is OS square. Then what is OS? It is root under b square plus 2ab cos theta. And this is a very important formula and it is known as laws of cosines. Pause the video and copy. In another triangle, in triangle OSN, that is this again, Sn is equal to OS sin alpha. OS sin alpha. Sn is equal to OS sin alpha from the trigonometric case. You know, sin theta is equal to hypotenuse by base by hypotenuse, cos theta is equal to height by hypotenuse. This like formula. From that formula we can get this. And in triangle PSN means this little triangle, dotted line triangle, and this get Sn is equal to PS sin theta. We consider this angle beta, and if this is theta, so this is also theta. So in this little triangle, we get Sn is equal to PS sin theta, and in the total greater triangle, we get Sn is equal to OS sin theta. So from this comparison, easily you can see that, and OS is equal to R, and PS is equal to what? This is B, and so this is also B. So this comes R sin alpha, and this comes B sin theta. So from this comparison, we can say that R sin alpha is equal to B sin theta, and this could be written as R by sin theta is equal to B by sin alpha. Pause this video and continue with me. And similarly, in this triangular, considering this triangle, we can similarly show Pn is equal to A sin alpha. Pm, that is this line, is equal to B sin beta, and from this we will get A by sin beta is equal to B by sin alpha. So from that previous equation, we get what we get, R by sin theta is equal to A by sin beta is equal to B by sin alpha, and this is known as laws of sines, and this is also a very important formula in physics. Please keep it in mind. Pause the video and note. So in the previous example, we get R is equal to root under A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, and we also get R by sin theta is equal to A by sin beta is equal to B by sin alpha. Here get with the resultant position, and this is the coordinate system, angle or direction. Okay. We will go through another example. please copy the problem first. I will writing in the board, then pause the video and copy. So here is our problem. I am repeating the problem. A motorboat is racing towards northeast at 25 km per hour, and the water current in that region is 10 km per hour in the direction of 60 degree east of south. Then find the resultant velocity of the boat. This is our problem. We will solve this. Hope you have paused the video and copied. Now, let us draw a picture. What is the problem? A motorboat is traveling. This is the velocity of boat, and the water current is north, this is east, west, and south. Okay. And the water current is like this, 60 degree of south of east. This is 60 degree, and this is the velocity of current. So we consider here the parallelogram theorem. That is, we will connect this to this, and the resultant will be in this direction. Suppose this is R. Suppose this angle becomes theta, and this angle becomes phi. That direction angle. So magnitude R is equal to, we will apply cosine law, that is VB square plus BC square plus 2 VB BC cos theta. This is equal to VB was 25 km, BC is 10 km, and 2 into 25 into 10 into cos what of 60 degree, and this will become around 21.8 km per hour. So you can write it 22 km per hour. This is the magnitude of our velocity of the boat towards this R direction. And what is the position or the angle phi between R and the north towards the north direction? The current of the water will change the direction of R. So change the direction of velocity or moving the boat, and it will change from this direction to this direction due to the current in this direction. So phi, from the cosine law we can write R by sin theta is equal to VC by sin phi. VC is this, and this and sin phi, this angle. Okay. So we can conclude here sin phi is equal to VC by R into sin theta. So this is our VC was 10 by R was 21.8, and sin theta, this angle is theta, this is total is 180 degree and this is 60 degree. So subtracting 60 from 180, it becomes 120 degree. which is our theta value, and calculating this value we will get 0.397. So phi is equal to sine inverse 0.397, and this will give a value phi equals to 23.4 degrees. So its position is R and its direction is toward 23.4 degree from north. So this was our basic concept and the first part of this video. The second part will come later. Thank you.